Hi, my name's Andy Astbury and I'm down here in a sunny come rainy Salford Quays in Manchester. Going to do a few shots with the old Irix 15mm f2.4. Sat here in front of the old D800E by Nikon. And we're going to take one or two nicest shots down here. I mean, I'm in an urban landscape. That's somewhere you'd never find me really, but I've had my arm twisted halfway up my back to come and do this afternoon. So what we're going to do is go over and take a few shots in a moment, but I just wanted to mention just a few things about this lens and why I really do rate this lens. Now, quite a lot of you will have seen the review on my blog. If you haven't seen the review on my blog, the link will be down there somewhere, or up here somewhere, or somewhere around, wherever Mr. Charles decides to put it. That's Mr. Charles behind the camera, by the way. Say hello, Charles. Hello, Charles. Yes, right. Okay, so the link will be up there somewhere, or down here somewhere, like I said. But I got given this lens for review, and the lens has really impressed me, I've got to say. And yeah, my favourite landscaping lens in general is my Zeiss 21mm. But if I need to go wider, I was always using my Nikon 1424, and all the distortion problems and the chromatic aberration problems with that lens, this just answers every single problem I have ever come across doing sort of super wide, verging on ultra wide landscape shots, because there's next to no distortion and there's virtually zero in the way of chromatic aberration. And when we come to do complex landscapes where we're bracketing shots and we want to blend the sky out of one shot with the foreground of another, you'd be surprised when you start pixel peeping the images just how much chromatic aberration correction can mess up your masking workflow when you're using luminosity mask to blend the multiple images together. But anyway, what I'm going to do is, like I said, in a minute we'll go over and take one or two nice shots. We're down here at MediaCity, well, just across the water from MediaCity, and we'll have a look at taking some shots. And what we're going to be doing is using the Irix edge filters as well, the polarizer and one of the NDs as well. And I'll also just go through the fact that you can actually stack these filters, these Irix edge filters, to use the polarizer and the ND together. So yeah, there you go. But before I get into that, what I want to do is just talk about the focus table or focus scales that are on the lens. Okay, so what I just wanted to discuss here is the actual focus scale on the Irix. Now, to be honest, this is old school, and that's what really impressed me when I first got hold of the lens. We've got hyperfocal distance marked off here for your three key apertures that you'd use for most wide angle work: f8, f11 and f16. We've got a proper focus distance scale from infinity, which is at the end of this key line here, and it goes all the way through to a closest focus of, well, let's call it 0.2 of a meter. The closest focus value is, as you can see, 0.25, but it will go a little bit past there. But what I wanted to talk about was this rear scale here, this depth of field scale. And the other thing is this infinity click stop, and you won't hear it on the camera, but as I move infinity to the main focus indicator line in between the two 8s, there is a definite click stop. This lens actually needs to be calibrated or recalibrated, which you can do by removing a little cover underneath the lens front element bell. And there is a little recalibration or calibration adjustment stop in there that you can adjust. And what really needs to be done is for it to be recalibrated so that that line is right across from the focus indicator at the bottom of the little detent, which is part of the click stop mechanism. And the other thing one or two people have asked me is this, especially on the Nikon ones, because we've got this 32 here. People say, well, why does it jump from 1 to 32 meters, Andy? It doesn't. That's 1 meter, that's 2 meters, that's 3 meters, then that's infinity there. But the other thing is we've got this depth of field scale here. So if I was going to shoot at f11, then what I could do is, instead of putting infinity here at my main focus indicator, I could actually put it down as far as f11, or maybe just inside f11, and then depth of field at f11 or say f14 would therefore bring everything from infinity to just shy of 1.5 meters in focus. There is really no need to do that. If we focus at infinity properly and shoot at f11, everything from infinity to about 2.5 meters away from the camera in front of the lens is actually going to be in real crisp focus. But we will then start to have quite a rapid fall off of depth of field as we try to get closer through that last sort of 2 meters towards the camera. And excuse me, what we will do in another video is we will actually cover how to shoot focus stacks with this lens very simply, very effectively, and also by the numbers. So we're not looking through the viewfinder of the lens, so we actually remove all the guesswork from taking our pictures. Learn to trust the focusing scales and depth of field scales on this lens, because they are deathly accurate. But anyway, I think we better go off and take a few pictures now. So I'll see you over by the scene. Okay, so I'm hoping Charles can actually pick this up on the camera. This composition we've got here of MediaCity on this quite elaborate and rather futuristic looking bridge. This is so different for me from Porthy Post and Anglesey, it's unreal. But I've picked up the fact we've got this stainless steel or brushed aluminium sort of banister going up these stairs, and I've put that centrally in the image, so it's sort of leading up to these feathers or this fan structure. And we've got the polarizing filter on, just deepening the blue in the sky. And yeah, we're shooting a 2-shot bracket, or no, 3-shot bracket, stop between each one. And this is, I'm going to do this one at the 50th of a second at f11. And so we'll take that shot there, and that will hopefully do for me mid-tones. And then I'm just going to look on my top plate, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So now I'm shooting at 100th of a second at f11, and that'll just guard my highlights, my specular highlights. I'll just take a couple of those, because the one thing with all that glass surface, and we've got the sun in the left-hand BBC building over there, glaring away in the window, which we can't take out with the polarizer, it's just too strong. So we just need to make sure we've got detail in those speculars on at least one frame. And then what we'll do is we'll come down to the 25th of a second, and we'll go for our wide shadow detail. And there we go, now we've got the steps. And I'm just going to have a little bit of a play with the magnification on the monitor in a minute, just to check that I've got the majority of this banister in focus. Banister. Why am I calling it a banister? Whee! There's the feathers. I think they are nice and sharp, yeah. And all the raindrops on there look relatively sharp. I haven't got any sharpening on this camera engaged at all. I always take the sharpening off, because this is the camera that I use for all my astrophotography, and you don't want to be trying to focus on the stars with sharpening on the JPEGs. on the back of the screen. Otherwise you think you've got sharp stars and when you get home you haven't. So there you go. Right, so there we go. We've just about wrapped up here now. We've taken a few shots in between the rain showers down here in sunny Manchester. Yes, we have. And you can go and see the full resis over on my blog if you like. I'll put those up, and I'll put a little bit of an article up there covering what we've done in this video. And you'll be able to see more of that on both on my blog and Charles's at charlestalks.co.uk. Bye. See ya.